now, babies.
He's like, man, it was white cornerbacks in Alabama secondary in 1971. It's like, that's the last time you saw one of them back there. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
No, he's not.
Just not, cut out for it, I guess. Speaking of not cut out for it, what do you say we start the show with some opening takes? Lot to get to tonight there, boys. So let's jump right into it. Bobby, why don't you do us the honors of kicking it off?
Certainly. The truth's hard to come by these days. Whether it's what Bill Belichick's actually doing, does Joey Maz have a plan? We don't know. We're just trying to sort it all through, sort it all out, just like everybody else. So here on the Simple Mind Sports Show, what we're going to do is give you the truth, whether that's with New England sports news or other things. We'll give you our opinion, and we'll get to the bottom of things for you. Don't you worry.
I think you're poorly alluding to our new segment in the show.
Maybe I just. Oh,
I mean,
we don't know we're just.
It's a Simple Mind Sports Show. There's no keep it
here.
secret. Ray's going to spill the beans at some point anyway, within 30 seconds here. So might as well just get to it. We've got a brand new segment. It's been very anticipated. Bobby's been working on this for months. It's a multi-paragraph email, and it's called "The Spirit Walk of Truth" with Chief Bobby. Where we investigate some of the hard-hitting conspiracy theories going around the internet webs. I know Ray's
went
very
full
excited.
Aaron Rodgers, took some ayahuasca, walked into the woods, and came out with the truth.
And another foreshadowing there. Aaron Rodgers may be part of this show as well in a different segment. We won't tell you what we're talking about. That's called a teaser in the biz, Ray. Try not to give it away. Speaking of giving it away, why don't we throw it over to Raymond, Dr. Big Mac, bottom of the totem pole of dumb, opening take.
Our parents owe us an apology, I believe, because 30 years ago, we were all outside playing. We wanted to come inside, play video games. And they said, that's not going to achieve to anything. Go back outside, go do something, go get some exercise. Well, this kid, Thiago Lap from Argentina, just played his heart out, finishing in 5th place overall, playing Fortnite, winning $900,000.
What a fucking dweeb.
Yeah, loser. Who cares?
That's fucking amazing. A 13-year-old kid? I'm teaching my kid to try to play baseball and basketball, and I know it's not going to get him anywhere. Hey, kid, go back and play video games. You're going to fucking make $900,000 coming in 5th place.
Then what are you going to do when he blows at that? And then you have to shit on him for sucking at video games. What's
Yeah,
the
that's
next
$450 after taxes. He's middle class. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, but he can't collect that till he's 18, so it's mine, baby.
So you're going to get sued. You're Britney Spears, this motherfucker. Are you still drinking Christmas sales?
Yeah, it's my last 2.
Good for you. Oh, last 2. So we're going to get a borderline spicy. I think at 3, you really go off the rails.
6, I black out.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's what we're looking for. 3.
Yeah.
So maybe 2, you'll be functional and, add something. Well,
I tried to, but you were interrupting me about this Thiago.
I mean, when you go off the rails, I put that fucking rundown right in there. Bobby followed it. He obviously has a fucking agenda.
Yeah, but
it took 3.5 months to write an email. Finally, we get it, and he makes a big goddamn deal about it, trying to be secret in the opening take. At least he has an agenda. You talk about fucking Thiago, whatever, making
$900,000.
middle class.
Is he related to that
playing
Vanderlei
fucking
guy
Fortnite.
who's going down for stuff?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Leave it to me to talk about the actual show. I put Red Sox or Belichick, figuring one of you assholes would talk about the 2 biggest stories.
I talked about
of the
Belichick
week.
in my opening take.
Well, that one goes unsaid, so I'll leave it for the show. That's how we'll open the show. The latest on Bill Belichick, his last stand. I'll go to the Red Sox then. Breslow the Bold does something that Chaim Bloom could never do, make an actual baseball trade with an actual name, shipping Chris Sale out of town. He's got a ticker parade for it, at least initially, and I'm here to tell you, nay. It's not that good. It's not as good as everyone's making it out to be. A lot of caveats here. When you got to pay over half the salary to get a guy out of town that's been absolute dog shit for you for 4 years, it's not the greatest trade in the world. And what they got back is not lighting the world on fire either. I just want to touch on the Red Sox a bit there, give Bobby a breather before his big segment. So we'll do a little Red Sox talk. State of the Red Sox. Spring training's in like 6 weeks, and they still don't have half their team. So
Cool.
Thanks. Yeah. Oh, someone learned how to use cool. That's good. Congratulations. Good job, Bobby. Tonight we will be talking about Bill Belichick's last stand. Very well, maybe watching his last game on the New England sideline on Sunday against the Jets. We got a football segment, NFL, college football, some news out of that. Breslow the Bold, do a little Red Sox talk. We got a BOTPOD's basement. I think we might do a little Simple Minds BOTPOD combination there because we got a lot to get to, including the Spirit Walk of Truth with Chief Bobby, which everyone's excited about. This is the Simple Minds Sports Show, Friday Rewind, January 5th. Happy New Year, gentlemen. 2024 is upon us. Welcome to the show. If you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome. Everyone looking pretty good tonight. New room for Bobby, which is always fun. We don't get that all the time, so congratulations to you. Ray, you've moved your camera over a little bit, so we've got some nice abs and boobies there next to the Johnny Manziel. Well, so there you go. Yeah, that should really always be the angle. Give us something good to look at, other than your chins.
You can't see my chins. That's why I grow a beard, dick.
If you're listening on your preferred platform, wherever it be, tell your friends, rate, subscribe, review, and as always, tell your mothers.
Hold on, before you go, how the fuck do you get cut on your hand all the time? You always have a Band-Aid on your hand. You fucking have an office job. You don't do anything manual with your hands, yet you're always cut. And it upsets me. No,
ask your mother. Ask your mother about why.
That
That was an absolute layup.
Ask your mother, Raymond.
That was a layup. That was user error.
Ray's so upset he made poor decisions and has to be fucking manual labor for life. Let's talk about Bill Belichick.
Man, I married up. I'm fine. I'm good to go now. I'm retiring before both of your bitch tits.
You married in when you were fucking 16. You just lucked out.
That was like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
called winning the lottery, baby.
Fucking years to get here.
It's called winning the lottery, baby.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got the winning ticket.
And either way, you have diabetes. You're not going to enjoy
I don't have diabetes.
Yeah, it's like one failed blowjob and some pity sex, and all of a sudden he married up. It's like, fuck you, dude. Fucking unclog my toilet, you asshole. I cut my finger making dinner.
Holy shit, you got two? You got cuts on both hands?
No, this is just a thing. This isn't a cut. This is a little thingy thing.
Oh, I thought that was the Band-Aid. That's the one I saw. That's what I thought it was. I'm like,
oh, you thought I had dual hand cuts?
Yeah. I'm like,
no. This is I chopped off legitimately the tip of my finger, a mandolin cutting potatoes.
Huh.
You use a mandolin?
Yeah.
Don't. I don't. I was cutting a potato. And very much like a movie, kind of looked away and then went whoop, and it cut the tip right off and went, oh fuck. And I walked to the bathroom and filled the sink with blood and went, Ingrid, cut pretty bad.
Potatoes are gone. Go to the store.
And then it bled for 2 days straight. I didn't sleep one night because of the pain. And then
holy shit.
Put some second skin on it. And now that human body's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's almost all the way back.
You're like an iguana.
I'm like an iguana. Good for you for pulling that out.
Thank you.
You been reading your children's books again?
Uh-huh.
Kind of boy. Bill Belichick's last stand. Will this be? I mean, this has been the story all year. Last week we did the
biggest story of the
biggest story of the year. We all are all in agreement on that, except for bottom of the totem pole dumb, who thought it was something about soccer. Probably. We've been talking about this all season. Belichick's last stand, obviously, finishing the season. Some raving reports, stories came out this week. One from the Herald, one from somewhere else. Athletic or the Globe, I forget, whatever. Either way, Bill Belichick and his football operations are getting shit on left and right. I've got some of the quotes from the one from the Herald. Just absolute dysfunction going on behind the scenes. We walk into this Sunday's game against the Jets, who, by the way, I think is a guaranteed win for the Patriots, which may fuck up the draft position. If
feels that way, especially with the impending snow.
But really, the question here for me is not if Belichick is back or not. That one goes unsaid. It's really going to determine where the obviously next season goes, and it's a big. But I'm really curious if the Krafts know already. Have they made their decision? Is it settled, or
I would hope that they would make their decision on what they plan on doing.
You'd think, right, Bobby? You're 4 days away, or 3 days away, 4 days away from the decision. It's been reported that they have a scheduled meeting for Monday. Now, if you listen to Greg
Black
Bedard,
Monday.
So I listen to Bedard and read Bedard quite a bit, and he says generally Kraft and Belichick's meetings after the seasons are on that Tuesday or that Wednesday to report in. And this year it's scheduled for Monday. So take that in consideration if you want to run through this report. There's a bunch of fucking unbelievable quotes which I want to get to, but just your opening thoughts. Does Kraft already know the answer? Not should he? Does he? Does he already know the answer?
I think he's leaving up to Bill. I think it's all in Bill Belichick's hands what happens at that meeting. Maybe it's just one of those things where Kraft's hoping Bill says, you know what, this is just not working out anymore. It's time to move on. I don't think Kraft wants to be the bad guy. He doesn't want to be the guy that let Bill Belichick go, where he goes and wins that coaching record. He didn't want to be the guy that let Brady go. That's why he all put it on Belichick. So he doesn't want his name being dragged in the mud. So I think he's going to just let Belichick decide if he wants to come back or not.
I would hope he has a decision in mind. The only bit of indecision that I could see as any bit reasonable would be at this Monday meeting. He goes in and meets with Bill, and they have some sort of a discussion about what Bill coming back looks like for each parties. And if Kraft isn't satisfied with that, then he moves on immediately. But I don't understand how you can't have a plan for this and just like not know what you would be doing next.
I don't know how you bring him back after this specific Herald piece dropped today. Let me read some of it. So it starts off, the issue started. This is Callahan and Doug Kide and Andrew Callahan, I think who it is. Anyway, it says Belichick, quote, preferred to keep Matt Patricia and grow together, in quotes, with his 22 offensive play caller, but ultimately relented, which is going unsaid. Kraft pushed him into hiring Bill O'Brien as an offensive coordinator. Belichick then, quote, denied O'Brien the opportunity to build his own offensive coaching staff, allowing just one outside hire in the tight ends coach, Will Lawing. This came from a source inside the building. Quote, the staff dynamic is completely fucked. New offensive line coach, Adrian Clem, quote, confronted director of player personnel Matt Groh early in the season about the team's lack of quality players in a loud exchange that reverberated throughout the organization. Clem said he did not feel heard. According to Callahan and Kide, while other staffers, quote, privately pointed fingers back at the decision makers about the team's construction, highlighted by a patchwork offensive line that included 2 offseason additions in Riley Reif and Calvin Anderson, who appeared in just 6 games combined this season. Clem has since, I think, been fired, if not released.
No, he left for medical reasons or whatever.
We left in medical reasons for in October. I thought Bill told us he was fired today. We had a Billy bomb. Maybe he was wrong. Either way, he's not expected back in 2024. No shock there. I'll stop there. The offensive side of the football, which is dead last in the NFL, has been a train wreck. Forget last year. This year, it's been even worse. Clearly, dysfunction is a massive problem there. Not even talking about the quarterback. We're just talking about the staff dynamic, which is completely fucked, which is a direct quote from one of the personnel guys or a player inside Patriots place there. This is Bill Belichick's organization. This is what he has developed. He wanted to bring the walking testicle sack back in Matt Patricia, which obviously didn't work, but looked better than this because he was forced into signing Billy O'Brien. And what's Bill's biggest attribute? And I got a whole thing on this in a minute. Spite. As soon as Kraft started meddling in this business, which went back to all the way to 2017, 16, Belichick has been making even more spiteful moves than he was prior to this. And this is another example of it. Their coaching staff is a fucking disaster, Bobby. It's a mess.
It is. Yeah, you can point to all these different decisions that have happened, and you can see why the product is what it is. There's dysfunction on every level. They let things in the past dictate what they do in the future. There's different grudges. There's politics in play. Nothing is really about the pure product of football, putting the best product out there, getting the best players, and having the best coaches there. The whole program needs a revamp. It will take years to do it, but it has to happen, or they're just going to be a poor team for a while. Just organizationally, they need to relook at everything.
Yeah, to put it plainly, it's a shit show in there, and on the subject of is Bill Belichick coming back, has Kraft made his decision. Again, I'll keep reading here. I don't know how you bring this guy back. Even if you did, again, to your point, Bobby, you'd have to like completely revamp everything underneath him again, which you can't do and expect success. But I'll keep going here. Raymond, this speaks to your and I's feud for most of this year and Mac Jones. My point of Mac Jones, to get on the record one more time, was never that he was that terrific, just that the situation that he was put in was so bad that it was impossible to judge what this kid actually had going on for him. And I think I got a little bit of backup here with these reports that are now coming out, but I have since acquiesced to your point, Ray. He does kind of suck too, and he's a little bit of a bitch. But let me read this. Get your response. The locker room's confidence in Mac Jones, quarterback Mac Jones, quote, waned significantly after the Patriots' 34-0 loss to the Saints in Week 5, but players didn't lay all the fault on Jones, with one sourcing highlights the miscommunication in the quarterback room by noting the backup Will Grier, quote, was never a serious consideration, despite being told he can compete for playing time. This is out of the piece here, but combine that with now your starting quarterback, Bailey Zappi, being cut twice, I think, and re-signed twice. The fuck-arounery they did with
Lee Cunningham.
They brought in some other scrub too, right? The Michigan State kid, wasn't he hanging around for
Also the guy from the Panthers, Matt Corral.
Matt Corral, the early one.
There was another, like, there's a guy that just retired, yeah.
Or there was another name. So they were fucking around with the quarterback room all season. A lot of speculation again on the spite train that Belichick was just fucking with Mac Jones, which is hard to say that he wasn't. By the time that he finally got pulled, I mean, after that game in Germany, they put him back out there the week after. He's having a mental breakdown on the sidelines, and Belichick keeps throwing him out there. Like, the only motivation for that is spite. Kraft, Bob, you made me draft this kid. He's the future. Let's see what he's got. Keep throwing him out there. I don't give a fuck. Like, the spite level is on a different stratosphere. Quote, back to the column here. The report. There definitely isn't a healthy communication in there about trying to win football games, a source said. Moving to the defensive side of the ball, Patriots cornerback Jack Jones, quote, blew up on position coach Mike Pellegrino at halftime on the Week 10 game matchup with the Indianapolis Colts in Germany. After not starting the game, he was then released the following day, and since then has 2 pick sixes for the Las Vegas Raiders, and no gun charges, no further gun charges, as we know. He got to Las Vegas without his guns, apparently. In the visitor locker room after the Patriots upset against the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is a nice one. Trent Brown coming right back up. Trent Brown openly discussed playing for an NFC team next season. He has since not played, has been a healthy scratch, and is going to lose out on some couple $1 million on incentives
6.5.
because he's an asshole.
He's also sick this week. He didn't practice this week so far.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Sick. I had a mother joke there, but I left it in the holster, right? I didn't pull it out. You're welcome. And then lastly,
I've never done that with his mother.
I mean, you guys are already met your quota, so.
Yeah.
That's my first one of the evening. I'm good.
No, you texted one and you laughed at your own joke like an idiot.
The text chain doesn't count on the podcast. That's 2 different things, and there's no quota in the text chain.
No, that's true. Ray, just your response to the article here from the Herald and the dysfunction laid out by I don't know if you read the whole thing. These are just
I listened to it because I can't read a lot, but basically what I've gathered is that that Bill Belichick wanted Matt Patricia to stick around. Kraft said no, like you said. Now, when Bill O'Brien came in, he basically said you can't bring your own staff in. So Bill O'Brien had to like work with each positional group, and that's like not likely because if you have your own group that comes in here and works with everyone, you'd be able to just be like, oh, go Bobby, go sit in with the quarterbacks, do your thing. I'm gonna go and make the game plan, whatever. But basically, it sounds like Belichick was just fucking with Mac Jones this whole time and wanted him to be a disaster just to fail for fucking Bill O'Brien to blow up in his face. Seems like there's so much dysfunction, like everyone hates everyone there, because even Gerard Mayo's come out and said that his name's getting blasted in the locker room for being not a approachable coach or being an asshole or whatever the hell it is. But yeah, basically it's just everyone fucking hates everyone, and everyone's pointing a gun at everyone saying, fuck you. I don't really care what you have to say.
To your point there, Ray, about the position coaches, about Bill O'Brien not being able to choose his. It was also reported in this article that later on that Bill O'Brien, that in this source basically said they almost never met with their position coaches. So they never had this like one-on-one coaching training. It was all done with the offense as a whole, which is highly unlikely. So basically also indicating Bill O'Brien doesn't trust these people and what they're saying without him there. So further showing how the offense is a complete fucking shit show.
Because didn't Adrian Clem like miss a week or something for health reasons, then came back and they were doing like different
it appears as if Adrian Clem was
like
silently fired during the season.
But it just seems like they went underneath him and they were changing his game plan. Like he was running this new system and then they were taking stuff from Skarnecchia.
Another great reminder. Also in the article, it basically says that James Ferentz coaches the offensive line.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, wow.
So another Ray, you're just jogging my memory here perfectly. Another indicator about why the Patriots blow.
Yeah, Adrian Clem left for quote unquote medical reasons. Bill Belichick got his back up in the media guts about that. I think his quote was, "Do you want me to break the Hippocratic Oath?" Even though he's not a fucking doctor. He's a doctor of assholery. But so
we're all
whatever.
doctors.
Maybe he had a cold and he had to leave and never come back. Either way, James Ferentz took over and started coaching Dante Skarnecchia techniques, not Adrian Clem techniques. By the way, since then the offensive line has been kind of better. So
decent.
There you go. Especially for what they're dealing with. Again, I think the whole thing just speaks to around the question: has Kraft made up his mind? He has to have. He has to have. Has to have.
I don't think he has.
All right, we'll get to that last one. I just want to go back to these spite decisions and kind of a little timeline here, and see if it makes sense. I put this in a blog on SimpleMindSports.com. By the way, Ray, had a little time off? Did you? A little time in your hands?
No, I knew that you were very upset that I wasn't pulling my weight. So
see that, Bobby? Belichick on my own little leadership. I know that type of motivation doesn't work on you. You're more of a pat on the ass. I know we'll get that conspiracy theory one day. You can do it. I know you can. Ray is more of, you're an asshole. You're an idiot. You're not good enough. And he's like, I'll show you, Papa. And then he jumps to it. He had fucking 6 articles out in one day. So
Kelly tell you I called you Papa?
Tells me so here's a little timeline I'd like to showcase with you on the spiteful Bill Belichick and the demise of the Patriots. This goes back all the way to Garoppolo, so it admits within 3 Super Bowl wins. Speaking to the greatness of Brady, tell me if you agree or not. This is really the meddling of Robert Kraft and when it started. It started with Garoppolo when Belichick was forced to trade Garoppolo. Remember the report from Adam Schefter? They're not trading Jimmy Garoppolo for 4 first-round picks.
Oh, of course.
And 6 months later, they traded him for nothing. Second-round pick and what ended up being Trent Brown, right? Later, a year later or whatever. Just a spiteful delivery from Bill Belichick. Give my boy a soft landing. The return, not as what it could be, not as what it could have been. There were reports that they could have got 3 first-round picks for Jimmy Garoppolo from Cleveland. They could have been up there, drafted Baker Mayfield. That was the whole thing. So there you go. There's first one. Spiteful move with Garoppolo because Kraft made him do that. And then after that, you get an emboldened Tom Brady with no pressure behind him, coming off Super Bowl. Genius motivational move by Belichick. Brady falls in the thank you, Papa, yes, Papa camp like Ray. You got to push him, let a fire in his ass. He did that with Garoppolo. They go win the Super Bowl. Garoppolo gets traded that midseason. Brady comes back, and this is where you get Brady in the Alex Guerrero versus Belichick, and that whole fucking dynamic that we went through with the Brady 5, Gronk and Edelman and Chris Hogan and Amendola, that crew of whites against, the rest of the locker room or whatever, the handsome whites against Belichick for Alex Guerrero to rub him down. You had that whole fucking conflict in the turmoil. And then towards the end of Brady's term, he wanted basically personnel decisions, which led to N'Keal Harry coming on, drafting a wide receiver in the first round.
Spiteful Bill said, "Ha!"
Was 1,000% because Brady said, "I need fucking weapons." It's the only time Belichick has ever drafted a wide receiver in the first round, and it was all in the midst of Brady saying, "I need more weapons." The next year, they go and give a second-round pick for Mohamed Sanu, Brady's hand-picked guy. That same year, they guaranteed $9 million for that fucking cretin, Antonio Brown, who lasts 2 games and is gone because he beats everybody up and, whatever.
Only if he was just not crazy. What could
that was all Brady, which 1000% came through Kraft to Belichick. So you had that whole conflict going on. Then Belichick and Kraft oust Brady. They remove the franchise tag. Belichick gets his wish. Brady is no more. He's gone. 1 year later, Kraft puts Mac Jones on his lap, forces him to draft Mac Jones with the 15th pick. And then the last straw to break the camel's back, Kraft doesn't let Matt Patricia stay, makes Belichick go and hire Billy O'Brien. All Kraft meddling into football operations. And within that whole time, go look at the decisions made by Bill Belichick and tell me they're not just spiteful asshole picks. Tell me Cole Strange is not a spiteful asshole pick just to show he's got power. He's the one in charge.
Kyle Duggar,
the good one, right? The double A football player drafted in the second round. Go look at those decisions. Riley Reef, go look at those decisions. So, you're going to make me bring on Billy O'Brien? Our first 3 picks in this draft are going to be defense, even though our offense fucking sucks. Go tell me that's not purely out of spite. So he went from I'm doing what's best for the football team to I'm doing what's best for my spiteful temper tantrum attitude. And it's not right by Belichick, but it's also, there's cause and effect. The push by Brady, the tempering by Kraft, and maybe it was needed. Maybe Belichick needed to acquiesce more and be a better team player. But that cause and effect, I think, through what I just kind of laid out, has got you to the point now where you bring in Billy O'Brien, but he can't bring his own staff, and I'm going to undermine basically everything you want to do because I'm Bill Belichick, and fuck you. 5
You're not. Yep.
For me.
4th round pick, Chad Ryland, trading up to get Chad Ryland. I mean, he does things just to spite. He could have fit in great with us,
Folk burying field goals every day.
If he was 40 years younger, he could have fit in right with our group because we're all spiteful cunts, and he just fits right in.
Yeah, and look, he's been heralded for 20 years for zigging when everybody else was zagging, or vice versa, right?
Yeah.
And now we know a lot of that has to do with Brady and the freedoms that he had because Brady was so good that a lot of those zags worked. But now it just seems like the motivation is not truly football related. It's a power political, spiteful dynamic down there. And, this Herald article lays it out to a point where, to put a nice little bow on this segment, I don't see how you bring Belichick back. And I don't think he's back. I think there's too many signs here. These articles getting released before Sunday, getting dragged through the mud, the Monday afternoon meeting being released. The Krafts never saying a fucking word this season to say Belichick is coming back. The opposite of that, reports that the Krafts have decided that he's not coming back after that Germany game, that it was basically decided. He's gone. He's gone, Ray.
I think he's gone too, but just because it's Kraft's camp coming out there saying, like, painting this picture like this is all Bill's fault. This was never, we tried to win. We wanted to win. We wanted to, look to the future, but Belichick didn't want Brady here. Mac Jones didn't work out because Belichick sabotaged everything. That's why this didn't work. So it's painting the picture that Krafts are getting off scot-free once again, putting all the blame on Belichick for when he gets fired with the rest of the mediocre coaches on Monday for Black Monday.
Well, I hope they're ready to support Gerard Mayo because it's not going to be an exciting hire. They better give. I mean, if they're going to get rid of him, it's probably going to be a soft landing. It's not going to be this total regime change. We're probably going to look at Gerard Mayo and whatever else comes with that.
Well, how many guys is he going to take with him?
There's fucking 8 guys on the staff. How many guys can he take with him? His kids?
2 kids, yeah.
And Troy Brown.
I would think if Gerard Mayo stays, that the
Jack
defensive
Jones
staff would stay.
I think you can just go if Bill Belichick's making 20 million and Gerard Mayo comes in and makes 5 as a head coach, 4, whatever, then you got 15 million to go pay some coaches. Go get some good coaches. Billy O'Brien's going to bring his own offensive staff. You got the 4th highest cap space, whatever that means. They haven't spent real money in 3 years. That's kind of their trend. Every 3 years, they dish out some money. They're set up to go spend money. They're obviously going to be motivated to do that with a new coach. We've said this before. We said it before last year. If they spent some money, they were set up to be decent. Their offensive personnel is bad, but
Very bad.
you can fix that fairly quickly with a veteran quarterback that doesn't throw 4 interceptions in the first quarter.
They could be an average NFL offense next year.
Yeah,
you have to
above
address
average defense. Then if you got
You're a good team.
if you had an average offense this year with an above average defense this year, you're in the playoffs in the AFC.
That's a good team. That's a 10-win team.
But you also have to get a GM that can address the needs and can go out there and look at the college game and bring these kids in. That's what Bill Belichick lost his fastball with. He couldn't address the wide receiver position, quarterback position after Brady left, obviously, and every other position on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, he could fucking make us look like Pro Bowl players, but on the offensive side, he's just lost it, and that's what we need here.
Can play corner.
Yeah.
Well, nice segue, Ray. He's going to make anybody look like a Pro Bowl player this year. First year since 2000. Patriots have been shut out of the Pro Bowl. Not a single one making that team. A little salt on the wound there. I think Barmore is probably the only one that
Barmore may have gotten boned.
Even a little consideration there. But if you go look at the tackles that made it, there's 3 of them. Chris Jones, the guy from Baltimore, and I forget the other one. Barmore's not better than him, and the Patriots suck. So, well, there you go. Sunday, probably a win against the Jets. He probably goes off with a win. Maybe he gives a little. Maybe they know. Maybe he knows. Maybe he gives a little salute to the crowd. That's what I'm kind of looking for. It was weird when Brady left that 2019 Titans playoff game.
Everyone knew it, and he just fucking ran off the field.
Kind of knew it, didn't know it. It was awkward. I don't think this will be as awkward. I think people will kind of know.
You think they carry him off?
No, but I think you get a win, and people will be sauced up. It'll probably be a weather game, so even more sauced up. And you probably get a crowd that stays maybe a little bit later than normal, and just gives a kind of a soft applause on his way out. Nothing crazy. I don't think there's anything crazy, but you might not even notice it on the TV broadcast. But I bet the stadium you'll feel. Are you going, Ray?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll feel it. I think you'll kind of feel the buzz. Let us know.
I'll feel right now.
Give us a live. Give us a video.
I'll give you a video of my nuts.
Right. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe it's Gerard Mayo as the next coach. Maybe it's somebody else, Bobby. Maybe it's someone close and near and dear to your heart. I got a little tidbit here we haven't talked quite a bit about, not even on the text chain. I'll give you a teaser. Where could Jim Harbaugh be after this Michigan national title game? Got a little news for you right after headlines with the obvious one.
Thank you there, Richard. The Celtics' 6-game winning streak was snapped Tuesday against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Porzingis and Tatum both dropped 30+, but it wasn't enough for a 127-123 loss. Next game is against the Utah Jazz Friday night. The Bruins started the new year off with a win in Columbus. They beat the Blue Jackets 4-1. Next game is against the Penguins Thursday as we record. The Patriots, for the first time, have 0 players going to the Pro Bowl, and why would they? At 4-12, they finished the regular season off against the Jets and could finish anywhere between the 2nd and 7th pick in the NFL draft. The Red Sox signed someone. Lucas Giolito signed with the Red Sox for 2 years, $38.5 million. He had a 2-9 record last year with a 7.07 ERA. The Red Sox also sent Chris Sale to Atlanta in return for shortstop / second baseman Vaughn Grissom. Finally, on this day in 1971, the Globetrotters, that's a nice dick, lose 100-99 to New Jersey Reds, ending a 2,495 game winning streak. This has been Headlines with the obvious one. Nice dick. Back to you, Richard.
That wasn't the reaction I was going for. I wanted you to lose it, but not enough Christmas sales.
No, are you kidding me?
I'm in the zone right now, baby.
I'm telling you, 2 Christmas sales is really, that's it.
Like,
fucking money, man.
Just sounds like I show my day every day. Just 2 Christmas sales right in the morning.
Little football talk here. We'll start off with some college. Get to the tease I just gave you. Jim Harbaugh. This went under the radar, especially after Michigan's win, which we'll get to here. But he signed Don Yee as his agent. The same Don Yee, agent of one Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo. Close ties with the New England Patriots, who just may happen to be looking for a head coach this offseason. Bobby, you say no.
No, they do not want that. That would be terrible. I would be absolutely opposed to him as the head coach of the New England Patriots. I would rather have Belichick stay.
Wow.
Why?
This is your guy. You're a Michigan guy.
Yes, I think he's a good college football coach because what he does is he's a personality, he's an overseer, and he brings the players in. He does not come up with defensive or offensive game plans. The coordinators do that. He has literally nothing to do with the creation of any football schematics. He might go in and say, hey, I want to run the ball a lot. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then they come up with a plan to do it. Ever since the team has been actually good, what's happened is his brother, John, has given him his best Baltimore Ravens defensive assistants, who then go there and do 2-year stints as their head defensive coordinators and then go back to the Ravens for a promotion there. And he's had 2 other offensive coordinators that have come in from other highly touted ways and have come up with it. He doesn't do anything else other than that. He's not a pro coach.
Well, that's Colin Kaepernick, okay? Alex Smith and
wherever
Colin
he goes,
Kaepernick.
he won't succeed.
And went to the Super Bowl.
I mean, he went to the Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick. What's Colin Kaepernick doing nowadays? Nothing.
And then he
Social
didn't come up
justice.
with the game plans. Greg Roman and whoever his defensive coordinator is, Mike Singletary, they did it. He's a great college coach.
He also said that JJ McCarthy is the best Michigan quarterback of all time. That I don't want him in New England after that comment.
He said that.
Yeah, you can
Brady
stay.
Brady rubber stamped that, by the way.
Speaking of
Did he?
Brady, I was the other day.
He is. JJ's got a better winning percentage, and he's going to a national title.
There you go.
Brady was like has a
Splitting
26-5
ties with
or
Drew
something.
Henson. Yeah,
and best he got was the Orange Bowl or something. He never got to a national title. It was a different day.
You guys remember LFO?
yeah.
And-
New Kids on the Block had a lot of hits.
Yeah.
Chinese food makes me sick.
The other day,
Is that why you don't like
kid was
Chinese
watching YouTube videos and was watching an LFO YouTube video, and they were wearing a Tom Brady Michigan jersey. I was like,
That's the greatest fucking story I've ever heard, Bobby.
The dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Why don't you tell me about your experience watching that Michigan-Alabama game into overtime? I don't watch a lot of college football. I watch basically 2 games a year. That was one of them. Good stuff. Michigan dominated the first half. Well, here's the thing with this is my same rant to do with all college sports. These kids are young. When they get in big pressure situations, they all shit their pants. They always fuck up. We saw that left and right in that Alabama-Michigan game. It's infuriating to watch. Some people love it because of the chaos. I think it sucks. But they all seem to straighten out, especially your boy JJ. In the fourth quarter, that game-tying drive was impressive. A lot in the running game there. Obviously, I forget the running back's name, but he's very small. He's never going to be an NFL player. But he gets the game-winning touchdown there. I don't know your thoughts. I did not watch the Washington game and the Texas game.
Very late.
Very
late.
old. It was very late. And who wants to watch Washington fucking football?
Yeah.
But Bobby, go ahead.
yeah. I mean, I thought it was a fun game. It's fun to. It was good to watch. I mean, they came out with a plan. They dominated the first half. Alabama countered in the second half, and then in the fourth quarter they readjusted and won the game. I think you see Michigan has great players. They have like 15 guys that are going to get drafted. So I think it'd be fun, and I think a lot of people are enjoying the fact that there's other teams in the national title game that aren't your Alabamas and Georgias. So I think it should be a good game.
Well, it's been 8 years since an SEC team hasn't been in the national championship.
I think it was since the last time when Ohio State won.
It was Oregon at Ohio State, right?
Yeah, that was this team Zeke was on.
Yeah.
Bobby downplays his Michigan fandom so much. It's always he doesn't want to get riled up about college football. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I've railed on it too hard. You want to maintain the.
I know. Well, it's like it isn't
because it sucks and it's stupid and no one cares.
I've adopted them as a team so that way I have like a rooting option, but I'm not like I don't really get like mad about it. Like it's just really
so
more
you don't
something
fucking
to
care.
enjoy.
Like everybody else that watches college football. in the New
So
England.
is that your basketball team too? Like, do you watch college?
I could give a shit about the basketball team. Whatever. College basketball is dumb.
I love college basketball.
Thank you. College basketball is worse than college football. We'll get there. March is just around the corner.
College basketball is currently one of like the worst sports. It's terrible.
Awful. You want to see?
I would rather watch
skid
YouTube
marks on
street
shorts.
ball.
Guys that can't hit fucking 14-foot jump shots.
Yeah.
They have academics. They can't just stay in the gym all day like the NBA players.
I'm surprised you pronounced that correctly, Raymond. Let's move on to the real stuff. The NFL storyline. Just a couple here. The Lions game. Lions Cowboys. First of all, just the overall. We'll get to the playoff picture here. We'll burn through it because we're running a little late. But the best teams in the NFL, except for maybe the 49ers, even though Kyle Shanahan may fall in this category too, just frauds left and right. Frauds all over the place. Teams losing instead of winning. That's what this whole season is going to come down to. Teams losing instead of winning. The Lions did it again. Now, the refs fucking screwed them, but the Lions, in that call to go for 3 times in a row after a timeout, a blown call by the refs, and then you fail again. That's losing instead of winning. Just kick the fucking field goal. Go to overtime at that point, Dan Campbell. Your thoughts on the Lions, the refs call. They doubled down on it, by the way. Their first move was they suspended that crew from the playoffs. They're not in the playoffs. But then they came out publicly and said it's basically the player's fault. He didn't report correctly, which clearly he did. They fucked them. Bad.
Well, they also said, Zoe said it best today. Not today. It was on Tuesday, I believe. He said they set 3 linemen up there to confuse the ref or confuse the Cowboys when no matter who reports, it goes over the intercom so the other team can hear it. So why do you send 3? So basically Detroit was like kind of fucking their own shit up, trying to play the surprise tactic, but it wasn't going to work regardless because they're going to tell you who's eligible for receiver, because the Patriots did that to the Colts or Ravens back in the day.
Except it did work because they scored. Except it did work.
But they called the wrong guy eligible. That's why.
Yeah, because Brett Allen's a fucking asshole.
Because the fucking ref screwed up.
No, I understand. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying
they should have sent one guy up there so the ref.
But
didn't
you
fuck
think it worked because the Dallas players were listening to the intercom and they were like, "This guy's eligible, so cover him." No fucking way. Players don't listen to the intercom. No chance. No way.
I guarantee you that's what they're all preaching this week in team meetings.
Hey,
yeah, we did what we were supposed to. We guarded the right guy.
Dallas is preaching the same thing they preach every week.
Money,
cash,
and whiskey,
money, cocaine,
hose. Money, cash, hose, money, cash, hose.
Any thoughts on it, Bobby? You want to move on?
No, that's it.
Well, money, cash, hose. I have some thoughts.
Yeah, we could talk about that.
Russell Wilson benched for not adjusting his contract to adhere to his clause of
Broncos
injury guarantee. Yeah, this was more of this player fucking empowerment.
Bullshit. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So the story is that he got benched because he refused to, or he was threatened to get benched because he refused to adjust his contract.
What did the Broncos say? We're going to take you take $100 million pay cut or we'll bench you. Like what? Like how much were they asking him to take? Like, of course he's going to say no. He's guaranteed.
I don't know what
his deal. His deal was pretty high though, right? When he got traded,
huge. It's massive. It's $200+ million, but it's $39 million guaranteed if he got hurt. And what the Broncos were saying, I think, was remove that clause from your contract because we're not sure we want to move forward with you, and we can't afford $39 million for a quarterback that's not playing on our team. That was a dumb clause in your contract that was written by the guys before we got here. I think that logically that's what makes sense. Or maybe Sean Payton was just like, we don't want you next year, so sit the fuck down.
There's been a lot of tension between the two of them, even when Sean Payton came here. I think there were some things he said when he was in New Orleans about Russell Wilson, and it was just like it was going to be a disaster regardless. And I think now Sean it's Payton like the writing on the wall. Yeah.
Well, what I heard was Sean Payton went in there, and when Russell Wilson went to Denver in that big, massive trade, first-round picks, the big deal and everything, and then they sucked. Is because he was a prima donna, remember? And it was the Russell Wilson, blah, 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 blah. Sean Payton went in there. And then they won 4 or 5 games, and you start getting reports that Sean Payton went in there, straightened Russell Wilson out and said, you're going to run my offense. I don't give a fuck who you are. I got a Super Bowl too. Shut up, sit down, play offense for me. And then people were heralding Sean Payton for it, and now they're calling him an asshole for it.
Because they're losing again.
I always thought Champagne was a little bit overrated, but I don't know. He turned around that Broncos team a little bit. And they clearly don't want Russell Wilson, which is why we were talking about the text chain. I don't want Russell Wilson either for a bridge
No,
quarterback.
fuck no, I didn't know. Like, I didn't even think that there would
He's
be a
just a
possibility of
baggage.
entertaining this. No,
He's
fuck no.
just a world of baggage that I want nothing to do with. And
He had sex. He had sex, and he's ruined.
Good one. Panthers owner fined $300,000 for tossing a drink, beer, whatever, at a fan out of the owner's box. Hilarious.
I said to you that, and I didn't even get a reaction out of any of you, and I was just very upset.
I'm sorry, Ray. It's in the show. What do you want from me?
He's stressed out. He think he might be on the list coming out, so he's a little bit stressed. A little stressed.
Ooh, fucking Mr. Foreshadow here.
Foreskin
On
over
the
here.
list.
Good job.
You're Mr. Foreskin.
Thank you.
You
He wasn't circumcised. Get out of here. That shit's covered up all the time.
If I can see it one day, I'll be able to tell you if it's circumcised.
It's under the
Yeah, let us
fupa
know.
and the foreskin.
Yeah, I will.
Dark side of the FUBA. I'm not going to go through all these playoff scenarios. There's a bunch of teams tied. Here, the big one: Bills Dolphins Sunday Night Football. Going to decide.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one.
AFC East.
It's one of the first times I can say I'm pro Bills.
Ray, obviously you're pro Dolphins. That was your prediction at the beginning.
Yeah,
of the
because
year.
I'm a spiteful cunt. Yes, I want the Dolphins to win. Of course.
Tyreek Hill's got his house burning down from toddlers.
If
No
he doesn't hate
distractions.
kids, if he didn't hate kids before, he definitely hates those motherfuckers.
Oh, there's
now.
no way that kid doesn't have his arm broken currently.
He's gonna have 3 children born from 3 different women on the same day.
Allegedly, they're his. Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly they're not his. Great father.
Yeah, great father.
Another battle of frauds. The Bills. Josh Allen sucked in that Patriots game last Sunday. He was awful. Bills were awful. They started 3 drives from the 30. Bailey Zappi threw him 3 interceptions inside their own 30. They scored 1 touchdown, barely.
Mhm.
He
And he had that costly fumbles. You're trying to get a third down play, and he fumbles it.
Yes, frauds. The Dolphins absolutely fucking schmammered by the Ravens that same day. Just frauds. These teams are frauds.
Tyreek Hill didn't play that day.
Yeah, his house is on fire.
No, that was the other day. That was when Rich was in Miami. Giving the kid the lighter. Here you go, little buddy. Like that
Puff.
motherfucker.
Any other storylines? I don't know if you guys have any off the top of your head. Eagles, Cowboys. Eagles with a win. Cowboys lost. They get it. They've been
Eagles frauds.
Yeah,
a little bit.
the Patriots figured him out in week 1. They just fucking suck.
But the Cardinals beat them. I mean, the Cardinals were the second worst team in the NFL, and then they go out there and put a shellacking on the Eagles.
Cowboys are frauds.
Who's your only 2 fraud? Who are teams that you think could just run the table now?
49ers is basically it. I would give you Ravens except Lamar Jackson's playoff record blows. So he's sitting out this week, which I think is a mistake.
Yeah, because it's gonna be 2 weeks that he doesn't get any playing time now.
Didn't work for him in the past, and then
Yeah.
another
He's a
bye.
rhythm player. 100%.
2 weeks off for Lamar Jackson, then come back cold into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're going to take on the Dolphins or the Chiefs, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, no way. 49ers, it's theirs to lose. If the 49ers don't win the Super Bowl, fire Kyle Shanahan.
49ers Ravens Super Bowl probably.
You take Kyle Shanahan over here if they lose the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah.
49ers Ravens Super Bowl. We'll get to that in a second, Bobby. Another foreshadowing right there. Mr. Aaron Rodgers back in the program.
Mr. Foreskin over here.
Yeah.
God damn.
All right, quick break and then a 1 minute Red Sox. Red Sox 1 minute there. Red Sox minute.
Just let Bobby do it. Go Red Sox. And on to the
In other news, the Boston Red Sox still exist.
It's funny that he calls them the Boston Red Sox just to like reaffirm that he's talking about the right team.
yeah.
I just want to get to this Chris Sale thing real quick. I mentioned on the top, Chris Sale traded to the Atlanta Braves for Vaughn Grissom, second baseman Vaughn Grissom. Chris Sale, arguably the worst contract in Red Sox history. We've talked about in this past. It's a close 1-2 with Pablo Sandoval and Chris Sale. So him jettisoning town the first time when I first saw the headline, I went, "Woo, way to go! You did the impossible." Then you look a little deeper into it, and they paid the Braves 17 million to get him off their payroll, which is 2/3 of what they owed him this year, and it's the last year of his deal, which is 23 million, which is one of the lower. It was front loaded, kind of. So one of the lower years of AAV. They need starting pitching. And they paid to get him out of town. And what they got back was a very similar profile to what they've been getting back for every single trade they've made since Chaim Bloom came here, except the skill level was tapped up just a couple notches because you put Chris Sale's name in the deal. So this Vaughn Grissom has a little bit of time in the MLB with the Braves. His first at bat was against the Red Sox. He had a home run over the Green Monster. Since then, he struggled in the MLB defensively, certainly, and offensively. You know, he went through the struggles that young players go through, but he raked in AAA. So prospect wise, he's good, very good. He's projected as your opening day starting second baseman of the Red Sox. But I just look at the deal and go, it's the same shit. It's the same moving big salary to bring back young talent with term, with question marks. That's the same profile that we've seen with Chaim Bloom to Craig Breslow, except Breslow had the balls to do it with a name where Bloom didn't. Bloom had a couple sale deals on the table and he never pulled the trigger. And say what you want about Chris Sale. We've been down on him as everybody else has. He's been awful since post 2018 World Series. But his name is still Chris Sale. He's still a 2-time Cy Young winner. And you got back a questionable fucking second baseman for him. So it's not a slam dunk, in my opinion. It's the same kind of deals that's been going on. The only silver lining I see in this, Raymond, is my biggest problem with Chaim Bloom is there was no direction. So we know John Henry is cutting payroll. They want to be a mid-market Tampa Bay type of organization. Obviously, we have problems with that. It's not what they should be, but fine, that's where they are. If you're going to be that type of team, you need to be able to address talent and good talent that can play on the cheap and still be competitive, a la the Tampa Bay Rays. Chaim Bloom couldn't address talent. Everybody he brought in here sucked. So your only choice, your only hope here as a Red Sox fan is that Craig Breslow has a better eye for young, cheap talent. And now they're rumored in on guys like this Jesus Luzardo from the Marlins, a 25-year-old left-handed starting pitcher that would slot in right behind Bayo. You've got this Vaughn Grissom, a young second baseman. You've got these young infielders that are coming up. You've got a gaggle of young outfielders that are coming up. There's a handful of those guys that are rumored in trade deals for some more young pitching. My point here is all of the rumors are floating around young, good, talented guys, right? And there seems to be a motivation to get young, good talent. Where with Chaim Bloom, it just felt like he was playing on multiple different levels and trying to.
They weren't young either. Some of the guys that he brought over were very old.
No, he made the deal for Kyle
guys,
Schwarber like mid-season, and then one deal he's going out and getting 3 prospects to be named later. It just felt very discombobulated with no real path forward. Seems like Breslow has more of a direct path towards a youth movement, and moving some of our current prospects to bring in real talented young guys with a little bit more pedigree, which, you know, it's what you have to do if John Henry's not going to spend. The Lucas Giolito move doesn't fit into that bucket, but he's essentially a 1-year deal, cheap starting pitcher, and you needed some of that. So they're looking to move on from Kenley Jansen, which falls into there. If they bring
this is all ifs and buts and coconuts. He has to do it though. That's the thing. Like it sounds great, but he has to fucking pull the trigger. Something that Chaim Bloom never did. It was be able to address the young talent, like you said. But this guy Breslow has to go out there and actually do it, and he hasn't done it yet. Like you said, 6 weeks till spring training starts, and this team's not even fucking complete. You got holes all over the place.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say to that is he did pull the Chris Sale trade, and baseball operates this way. It operates late in the offseason.
Starting to get way later now, yeah.
Blake Snell's still in the market, right? He's your best domestic starting pitcher. You know, you had
he wants to go to the Yankees. I just read a report today.
Good. I don't want Blake Snell. I don't even want Montgomery. I would rather them trade for a young kid.
They're saying Montgomery is the Red Sox are top on the list of trade prospects for Montgomery.
Signing prospects.
Signing prospects, yeah.
too expensive, but whatever. That my point is here. It looks like there's a direction for a youth movement. They're going to move the Kenley Jansen. If they get the Luzardo guy and another starting pitcher, you move Houck, Whitlock, Pavetta to the bullpen. Now you've got a stacked bullpen. There's a little bit of positivity that I'm pulling out of this team, where the last 2 or 3 years with Bloom, it was zero, negative, fucking nothing. Their team sucks right now.
They'll be gone by May 1st.
Probably. I mean, if you look on paper, their team blows right now.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of eggs to drop across the MLB, and it's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. It has to, because there's so many players unsigned still. The teams have to make moves because spring training starts in February. So there you go. Last piece on the Red Sox I wanted to talk about is the John Henry motivation here. And we've seen this before with professional sports teams dropping payroll, driving up their margins in terms of profits, creating a young, talented, unproven team, sets it up for a potential sale.
You've been hearing this for like 5 years now. Fuck, no way. It's not going to happen.
What?
He's got so many fucking other sports businesses that it doesn't even matter. He ain't going to sell.
I heard a rumor that the Fenway Sports Group wants to buy an NFL team.
They
An
would need to
NBA
buy-
team.
Well, look, here, if you're John Henry still needs to sell the team guy, if you're on that bucket, which I think everybody is at this point, you better hope they want to buy an NFL team, because the only way they're doing that is selling the Red Sox. That's the only way you get an NFL team. The only way you get into the NFL is with $5 billion. And the Red Sox are worth $5 billion.
Well, they got to the Premier League, and I bet you Liverpool is worth more than any NFL team.
That was a while ago, though. That was like, what, 10 years?
Look up what they bought Liverpool for. And either way, if you bought Liverpool and you bought Pittsburgh Penguins and whatever else they've bought to the point, what are their cash reserves? I mean, how much money do they actually have to keep buying shit up? Do they want to get out of baseball and get into the NFL, the cash cow that is the NFL? If that's the case, maybe they got to sell the Red Sox to do that. Move out of
They
baseball.
bought it for Liverpool.
Sign some deferred contracts. They don't have to pay that shit for a while.
Bingo.
But then get out of baseball.
They bought Liverpool for $366 million in 2010.
There you go. What's Liverpool worth now? 4.5 bill or something? 2010?
Yeah.
Yes, 13 years ago. Fuck yeah. They're about what Liverpool's worth, about what the Red Sox are worth, which is hovering around
$5.29 million or $billion.
$billion. Yeah. The Red Sox are about the same. The Red Sox are about the same. And I bet what are the Penguins worth? Significantly less, but probably still in the billions. Probably a billion.
Oh, Red Sox are worth less. Wow, 4.5.
Really? They were at 5 at one point. Well, they fucking suck. So that's not.
Then they traded away Chris Sale.
It all went to the hell after they created Race 6. So there you go. If you're looking for a silver lining,
$990 million for the Penguins.
but I just said $1 billion. Pretty good.
They're not there yet, though.
I said about $1 billion. Jesus, hockey's going up. It takes them a while. Okay.
No,
Slow progress.
Canadian dollar.
Silver linings for the Red Sox. It looks like they've got a directive for his youth movement, and John Henry may be positioning himself to get into the NFL, which would take him signing the Red Sox. There's your positive spin there. We'll be right back with the very highly anticipated segment of this might bump the BOTPOD. We don't have much time. The Spirit Walk of Truth with Chief Bobby. We're really looking forward to this. Be right back.
Doobie doobie doo.
I've just been staring at that first computer for a while now. It's on my fucking screen.
The picture of the first computer didn't get put in. It was supposed to be a picture of the first computer. Then you'd scroll down and see the picture of your mother's ass. But obviously, just one of them went in there.
That's not my mother's ass.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
A nice looking booty. Welcome to our newest segment, the Spirit Walk of Truth with Chief Bobby. Bobby, why don't you give us a little bit of a quick synopsis of what we're looking to do here with the Spirit Walk of Truth?
Yeah, what we're looking to do here is we're looking to look at polarizing topics, take a a macro view, go into maybe some reasons why it's a point of contention, some things on both sides, get our opinions, and have a little discussion about some common conspiracy theories out here that, and maybe input our thoughts on it. And the one I wanted to talk about first was the moon landing.
Yeah.
The moon
So
landing.
you're really burying the lead here. This is our conspiracy theory corner. This is our conspiracy theory segment. We're just going to talk about conspiracy theories. And Bob is going to start with the moon landing, and we're going to go from there. Ray's been really itching for this. We've done What's in Your Quay. That'll be coming back soon too. But basically,
okay.
What's in Ray's Quay is real life murder mysteries, Fortnite fucking documentaries, and conspiracy theories. That's what Ray likes to watch. Right up your alley. This is all you, Bobby. Go for it. I have a lot to say in this.
Ooh, I know where you already. I know where you're at already too.
Team fucking NASA. But go ahead.
I knew it. I fucking knew
fucking
it.
NASA shill. Fuck you. You don't believe anything that's gonna come out of your mouth either.
What a loser.
You don't even believe it. God damn it. Well,
I mean,
anyway,
make your point. Look, it'd be a real boring show if we all just agreed. So make your point. I got my fucking makers.
Raymond, first of all, Raymond, what's your initial thoughts on the moon landing?
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Staged. It was staged.
Well, if you just go through and pull up a list of common technological achievements that happened around the time, you'll see a lot of really underwhelming stuff. Something, the floppy disk was the major achievement in 1967. Then in 2 years from there, we live streamed from the moon. Okay. It was literally live on TV broadcasting from the moon. So,
yeah. Okay. First of all, false. It wasn't live broadcasting. That's not what happened. Second of all,
it was a 20-second delay. That's pretty much live.
They had to create new fucking technology. They created video to
If it's so cold on the moon, though, why would that freeze? Why wasn't there frost? It's very cold up there, apparently, from what
Raymond,
they've all
I'll
said.
present the evidence.
Thank you. All right. Apologies.
First of all, it wasn't live. Go ahead.
It's pretty live. That's about as live as it gets. Okay.
So live as it gets is live.
Ask your mother about her 20-second delay orgasm, and then we can talk, Richard.
No, that one didn't work. That one didn't work. No.
Sorry. Pop liked it.
It didn't work, but I appreciate the backup there.
Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry
for that. So since you're going to be a Team NASA shill on this one, Richard, the Van Allen radiation belt, okay, which they've said, literally, NASA said that we can't get through this fucker.
No, they didn't.
Since this.
No, they didn't.
So what what they said was, so we had the technology, but we've since lost it.
Also wrong. No, they didn't. I don't know where you got this information from. Were you hanging with Kyrie and Aaron Rodgers? They didn't say that.
They were smoking ayahuasca.
What are you, a college professor, questioning my sources? Fuck
what are you?
Where are you getting your NASA shill
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Arguments
the
from?
Van Allen radiation belt. If you look, just do 1 second of internet research, kind of goes like a figure eight around the Earth, which creates weaker points and stronger points. First of all, second of all, the radiation from the goddamn Van Allen radiation belts.
Rich didn't work today.
The Apollo projects. This is right out of NASA. The readings from the 9 Apollo missions that reached the moon show the astronauts' average radiation exposure of 0.46 radiation absorbed dose. Okay, that proved NASA was right to shield the astronauts from the radiation, which they did. They learned that they needed to do that because they sent up hundreds of probes through this motherfucking thing. They sent Apollo 8 through the goddamn thing that circled the moon and came back before you landed on it. So though it's less than the experience from some nuclear workers, nuclear workers experience more radiation.
It's pronounced nuclear.
0.46 rad is around 10 times more the radiation exposure of medical professionals who routinely work in X-ray radiotherapy. So here's what they did. They picked the weakest point in this fucking thing, and then they went super fast.
They do not have the technology to pass through this belt. They have specifically said it.
No, they haven't. But go ahead.
Yes, they have. And you, sir, will be presented with more evidence about that. Moving on. Point me, okay? All tapes and blueprints gone. They've since been just taped over or lost? What's up with that?
Like my first haircut. My mom was very upset about that.
What's the explanation there? Why don't we have? Why
My
can't we
dad
go
taped
back and
over
read
my
these?
first haircut.
So you hold on, wait a minute.
With what, duct tape?
You recorded your first haircut?
My mom did, I guess. And my dad taped over.
Oh, like a videotape. They recorded you getting your first haircut.
What did he tape it over with?
Your dad recorded over it with Super Babes 1979.
Huge bushes,
Some
1979.
wet
Yeah,
T-shirt
big bush.
contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, girls. The first ever Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah.
The information hasn't disappeared. That's also just not true. They have it. It's in tapes that are the technology to replay these doesn't exist. But there's. Hold on. Do you want the actual number of?
I don't want it. No, moving on.
Fucking
Thank you.
data that is
Photos have
available?
been proven to be doctored. There are photographs where there are ideal backgrounds, much like it's a set, where the exact same mountains will be seen when NASA described it as they were in different places or even in different years, as there was multiple missions between 1969, when I
Nice.
referenced the picture of your mother's ass, to 1972.
Your mother's ass, not mine.
It's just whoever. It's just a colloquial statement.
Yeah, I couldn't even find this one on the interweb, so I'm just assuming you made it up.
Nope, because
I did not know.
also
This is
big
all
thing too
legitimate
is
evidence.
why is the
Obviously, I
flag
researched
evidence?
a little bit.
Why is the flag move?
better, baby.
Flag doesn't move.
yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. There's a rod at the top of the
How
flag.
come there's no stars in the photos, McPhee? No stars.
Oh, that's
Okay.
a good one. Have
If
you?
I
are you-
look outside, there's fucking stars. You mean to
In
tell
the
me there's
day?
no stars on the moon?
How many stars do you see during the day?
Couple.
How many stars do you see during the day, Vine?
It's at night. At
No,
night, there's always stars, no matter what, at the moon.
It's always
Are
dark
you
on
an
the moon.
astrologist?
First-
Listen,
Are you an astrologist?
don't make
How
me
do you
go
know
Yeah,
to
that?
he
Neil
is.
deGrasse
Fucking
Tyson.
night.
Okay, we know
He's
where
Native
he's
American.
gonna
He can do whatever
stand
he
on
wants.
this.
They went to they. It's not at night. And are you familiar with photography? Did you understand the idea of what shutter speed is?
No, I obviously don't.
Okay, fair enough. Go on. Enough.
So you mean to tell me that you logically believe that it is more it makes more sense that we created all these things in 2 years, flew to the moon, and then just decided to never go back again, and all of these inaccuracies
go
are
back
somehow
again.
plausible?
They did go back again. They have been in space since
The moon. He said the
moon.
moon, McPhee.
Moon.
Allow me to continue.
Moon.
1962, John Glenn orbits the Earth. 1965, Russia sends a woman to spacewalk.
How come
in
Neil
That
Armstrong
didn't
won't
happen.
swear on the Bible?
1968.
How come he won't
That
swear
didn't
on the Bible?
He
How come
punched
he
that
won't
guy in
do
the
it?
face because that guy was a cunt. 1968, Apollo 8 orbits the moon.
Why
They've
won't
been
he
in
swear
space
on the
ever since.
fucking
Apollo
Bible?
17, last mission to the moon. 1972, 6 crewed missions have been to the moon. 12
I
astronauts
fucking
have
said that.
landed
I
on
said,
the
why haven't
fucking
they
moon.
gone
There were
back
20
since
planned.
72?
Last 3 were canceled. Why? Because of money. There was $20 billion $8 billion. I'm sorry, originally scheduled for the Apollo missions. You know what it cost just to get the failed missions plus the 6 that actually made it? $20 billion. That's $12 billion in 1969 and 1972 money, more than what it cost to get there. And then you know what was happening in 1972? The fucking Vietnam War. You beat them. You beat them. You beat the
Lieutenant
Russians.
Dan.
You beat them 6 times. They didn't have a need for it anymore. And then they cut the NASA budget to fucking zero. To zero, basically. They didn't do it anymore. They went and fought the war. That's why they didn't keep going back.
Is that
They've
why the
been in
tapes and
space ever
blueprints are all
since.
gone?
They've
Oh,
been
yeah.
in space ever since. The shuttle landings, or the shuttle started in 1982. That's not. They didn't just go to the moon and then technology didn't
Called
do anything.
Space
from there.
Station.
The space station was after that in the 90s. They've continued the technology since then. You dopes.
NASA shill Rich McPhee. I never would have expected this from you. Well, so they obviously got to you when you were living in DC.
Let me tell you something. 12
It's really,
astronauts.
come on,
That's what it
You're
is.
down there
That's
in
what it
DC
is.
and they got to you. Come on.
Here's another one. With a powerful telescope, you can actually see the Apollo landing sites on the moon from your living room there, Ray, if you really want to try that. There's a lunar reconnaissance orbiter.
That's a lie.
Today's technology that is going around the moon that actually takes pictures of the thing that can be seen.
Have you actually seen the videos of the lunar module lifting off? Have you seen that video?
What do you think I did today? The here's your big debunker right here. And this is logic. This is not NASA shrill. This is not technology based. This is just people. This is just people. 12 astronauts in total walked on the moon. 400,000 people were involved in the Apollo program over its course of time.
I agree with you wholeheartedly that if that
From
number
those
is
Apollo
accurate,
moon missions, there are 8,400 public available photos, thousands of hours of video footage, scientific data that they cannot compute to the point where you say they lost it. They didn't just lose it. They just don't fucking want it because there's mega data that you can't even comprehend the amount of. Audio recordings, air-to-ground conversations, live people who saw the rocket explode into space dozens of times. 382 kilograms, 900 pounds, Raymond, of moon rock that they have brought back that is studied multiple times a year by scientists across the world that have all determined that it came out of a non-oxygen space. So
then why did they hire Stanley Kubrick to produce
you're looking
the
to tell me
film, biatch?
because they got Stanley Cooper to put some film together
Yeah.
that over 1 million people over 50, 60, 70 years are in on it? What actually happened if they didn't go? What actually happened?
They faked it. Duh. That's what I just said. Do you even listen to anything I fucking say? God.
Buzz Aldrin punched that cunt in the face who wanted to swear in the Bible.
Swear on the Bible.
Dopey little cunt.
If you went
He
there,
was a dopey
swear
little
on the
shit.
Bible.
He was a dopey little shit.
If somebody walked up to you and said, "Hey, Rich, swear on the Bible if Ray's a cunt," you'd be, "Give me the Bible, bop, done."
No, you know why? Because I get to make fun of Ray, not anybody else. Anybody else can make fun of him, punch him in the face.
Ray's
All right?
my
That's called
Yeah.
loyalty, Bobby. That's called loyalty. And I'm a goddamn American. So is NASA, you fucking commie.
Well, Raymond, break the tie. Moon landing, real or fake?
Oh, it's fucking fake.
God damn it. We'll be right back with Simplest Minds of the Week.
Are you stupid or something?
I'm as stupid as a stupid does.
Are you crazy? Or just plain stupid?
Stupid as stupid does, Mrs. Blue.
I guess.
Are you stupid or something?
Stupid as stupid does, sir.
Like, how do you know that the walkie-talkie or radio communication was going to work from the moon to Earth, and yet the cell phone
did the
didn't?
fucking research, Ray.
How
They
do you
set
know?
the
How can you
shit out
research?
there.
How can you research that?
It's science.
It's
Don't use
What do
those
you-
big
wait,
words
what do you
on me.
mean? What do you mean? How can they research it? Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong put a radar detector on the moon that they're still bouncing fucking lasers off to this day. They couldn't do that if there wasn't there. You're just in the conspiracy zone. I get it. It's a good one. It's a very good one. And there was fake shit
lots
released.
of other
There
good
were
conspiracies
fake
to dive
photos
into here.
released to the public to ramp up the excitement. And there's a lot of reasons to disbelieve it. The shady governmental involvement, the whole Cold War. I understand that. There's just so many mountains of evidence, like 1 million real people that were involved.
What if we're all in the Truman Show?
What if?
That'll be next week with simulation theory.
I like the simulation theory. I can get down with that.
Yeah.
That's for episode 2. That's episode 2.
That's much harder to disprove. This is for morons and fucking simple minds. But welcome to the show. Speaking of morons and simple minds, let's get back to the regular scheduled program to end the show. We're going to do our Simple Minds segment with Ray's BOTPOD basement, but a little precursor into that. I want to put Aaron Rodgers on here because he made the news this week with the
As he does every week, apparently.
as he does every week.
Seriously.
He is the Kyrie of the NFL. Maybe not even the NFL anymore. He's just
The world.
just a YouTube conspiratist dork. The smartest guy in the room. Guy rubs me the wrong way. People like this rub me the wrong way. He was on the Pat McAfee show. He made the news because he made a joke about Jimmy Kimmel being on the Epstein list, which was funny to me. I think Kimmel overreacted to the whole thing.
You think he did?
But if you look, listen
He's
to
threatening to sue him.
Yeah.
if you listen to the whole Aaron Rodgers interview or parts of it where he gets into these type of rants, he's just a douchebag. He's
Oh, yeah.
just, I'm smarter than you because I read a couple things on the internet and watched YouTube and some other people didn't. So I have some information. He ended that program talking about constitutional republic versus democracy, which anybody who's been in a drunken late night conversation about United States government who has that little bit of like nugget of knowledge pulls it out to be an asshole at the end. I've done it multiple times. That's how I know. Actually, America really wasn't founded as a democracy. It's founded as a constitutional republic, which gets civil liberties, not freedom. So, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's what Aaron Rodgers sounds like on fucking live TV in front of millions of people. And he ended the show calling Fauci a fucking criminal, which he might be, but don't be a douchebag about it. Don't be a fucking douchebag about it, Aaron Rodgers. Like, don't act like the smartest guy in the room. So there's your precursor, Ray, for Aaron Rodgers being an asshole and an idiot, and the simplest mind of the week calling Jimmy Kimmel on the Epstein list, which brings us to BOTPOD's basement.
Hasn't been disproven yet.
Yep, thank you there, Richard. So the biggest thing I've been looking forward to in 2024 is the news that Epstein Island flight logs will be unsealed and made available to the public. High-ranking political figures to billionaires, celebrities are all scared to see who is set on that list. It really piqued my interest, like you said, when Aaron Rodgers came out and threw Jimmy Kimmel's name, that he's probably going to be on the list. So my question for you boys is this. Who will shock you the most if you see their name on the flight logs?
Stephen Hawking.
Right? Right? How the fuck? What was he doing? What?
He had a threesome with several under.
Sit on my lap.
I mean, it was probably the only way he was going to score.
That's
a good one. I didn't read this before, so I'm just right off the tops of my heads. And this is not shocking. This would be right in line with it, but it also just makes me laugh anytime I see this name on a list because simple minds. I like to see OJ's name pop up on stuff.
That's a good one.
You know?
You think Epstein would bring OJ Simpson?
Or you think he's got a little racist thing going on?
Mine would be Whoopi Goldberg. Anyone from The View, like those women from The View, I just can't stand. So like that would be like the biggest like, oh man, that's awesome. I can't wait to fucking see them getting dragged through the mud.
So your motivation here is Belichickian. It's spite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking for the laugh here. I'm looking for the comedic.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones would make sense.
Yeah,
Kraft.
but he likes it the
Kraft.
old-fashioned way. He wants to beat hookers.
Yeah. I mean, Prince Andrew is probably the funniest one of them all, and it's real, which is good. Bill Clinton being named like hundreds of times is status quo.
Ivanka.
No. Well, that goes to my next one. Who is the least shocking? And then take out Trump and Clinton, since obviously they've been well established to be friends with Epstein and all that.
Well, first the people that were actually named, like the unknown billionaire technology tycoons and
Bill Gates,
whatever.
Bill
Gates has been like named but not named, right?
No, he has photos with Epstein and Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell. So yeah, I think it's gonna be very surprising to see him turn up on the list.
Yeah.
Do you know who
Bill Gates is going to be running through those videos?
This is not my joke. This is from the McAfee show. The Boston fan on the McAfee show, I forget his name. But he said, people are scared of this list and the John Doe's not being named because of the allegations that could come out. Like, in today's day and age, you can name anybody and it could really run like wildfire and ruin their careers, and that people would have to, hang up their career cleats. And he's like, for example, like if I was a Patriots fan and didn't want Bailey Zappi to be my quarterback, I'd be like,
hey, Bailey.
I think Bailey Zappi's John Doe number 138 on that list. I'm pretty sure he made a trip down to.
Like, what's the bad things you think that they're like taking out that they're not going to let be released?
I'm pretty sure people with money and a lot of power.
Yeah.
Oh. So what do you think?
Very specific.
Or not already
design.
We're not already sullied by massive sexual scandals like the Clintons.
No. So lastly, like, what do you think will happen to these people that get indicted on this list?
Nothing. Not a fucking thing.
Forget about it by voting in November.
I think in February, they'll have their next meeting of at whatever organization they're in. Yeah, exactly. And then there'll be some new big thing that'll take us over. They'll create a new event somewhere.
If Aaron Rodgers had anything to say about it, what he literally said in the Pat McAfee show was, "We need to take our country back. We need to take a country back."
Bill Gately is over there click-clacking in fucking Derry, ready to fucking go. Let's go, Aaron Rodgers. Let's fucking go.
Trade for him. Trade
This is
for
why I
him.
know he's stupid, because he swayed that conversation politically in the exact way you'd think it goes, and we don't do politics on the show. But this list is certainly not fucking political at all. There's no way to make it political. There's not petty pedophile Democrats or rich fuck Republican. They're all just schemy rich assholes who like gross things. So I don't know. Aaron Rodgers. I'll just bring it back to Aaron Rodgers. He's an asshole and he's a douchebag.
Yeah.
He's a Kyrie of Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
Watching too many YouTube videos.
Smoking a lot of ayahuasca.
Yeah. We've been to the moon. This is the Simba Sports Show.
That's
Friday,
a lie.
January 5th. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Marty! You've got to come back with me! Where? Back to the future!
Hello, Richard.
Hey there, gentlemen.
Robert.
Hey, boys.
Oh, Robert, by the way, congratulations on your national championship team, Michigan, next
Appearance.
Monday.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Can't wait. It's the only playoffs I get this year.
Well, you got the Celtics, you got the Bruins probably, and that's the only other two that you'll get.
Well, the Celtics, yeah. No, I'll get some Celtics.
Okay.
Get to enjoy some Joey Maz debauchery.
This previous December's Coach of the Month, just so you know, Joey Maz.
Fuck that. Don't wait. Listen, Bill just gave us that wonderful bit of news, and then you ruin it with that.
Sorry.
A wonderful achievement.
Sorry.
I thought you were going to say, I just had major deja vu. Maybe because I wasn't looking at my phone. What did Bill say?
Go ahead and find it. You'll see. Take a peek.
Oh, is this about the white guy?
Yeah.
Correct.
The white cornerback taking
Yep.
back what is ours. That's what I thought your initial.
No, we're saying.
Oh, I thought that's what you guys said.
No,
I didn't say that. I thought that's what you guys were saying. I also thought that's what your congratulations was going to be about, Ray.
No.
I thought the Oklahoma Native American tribe finally took back their lands. And
No.
congratulating Bobby.
They're still fighting that fight. Fighting that good fight.
Well, you've got a lot of good things on your side here, Bob. You got the white power movement with this white cornerback. The
Hopefully he
Oklahoma
doesn't
Indians
get
are
blackballed.
fighting pretty hard. And
How much
Michigan.
balls does it take a GM to actually pull the trigger on the first white cornerback in the first round?
he'd be the first one since Jason Seahorn.
That's the only other white cornerback I can think of.
Well, that was the last one.
Who else can you think?
Was he a first round pick?
1950s probably. No,
Julian
he's not.
Edelman.
Multi-tool player. Look at that.
Julian Edelman. Obviously, I've spoken about Shane Gillis on this program before, but he's got a whole bit on that. I don't know if I've done this on this show before or not. But he was talking about segregation and how Alabama football is real proud of themselves for doing it. And it was 1972. The first time they allowed black
That was
people
like
on the
2-3
Alabama football
specials
team.
ago, yeah.
And how many national championships they went after that?
Yeah. He's like, imagine it was white cornerbacks in Alabama secondary in 1971. It's like, that's the last time you saw one of them back there. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
No, he's not.
They're just not, cut out for it, I guess. Speaking of not cut out for it, what do you say we start the show with some opening takes?
Broken glass left beneath my swollen feet. I got a beautiful old memories. Born under a bad moon in a little Texas town called Cut and Shoot. None of me says so, nothing you can do. 'Cause I got something